Hello, welcome to Lagos. I'm here on the south coast of Portugal. I'm having a little bit of holiday time. Having a look at the sun shining. I know it's the sun, I've seen it a few times in England before, and because the sun's shining, I'm squinting a little bit. So, sorry, it's a tacky thing to do, but I'm going to put my sunglasses on. It helps me a little bit, and I know what you're thinking. If you're watching this in England, should have gone to Specsavers, but hey, what can I say? Even though I'm on holiday, and I feel really fortunate, I've got this beautiful penthouse apartment overlooking the harbour here with the yachts coming and going. You might hear some noises in the background because there's people on the balconies next door that are having their breakfasts, and there's tourists wandering by down below. It is a working harbour. But even though I'm on holiday here, the reason I wanted to create this little video for you was because when I saw the boats bobbing up and down, it gave me a few ideas. See, oftentimes I get criticised by adults for helping to raise the aspirations of teenagers. They say to me, you're giving young people false hope. And I say to those people, they say, you don't really understand. When I saw these boats, it gave me a little idea. And I started to think about the types of goals that teenagers and young people tend to set. You see, when I talk to young people, I ask them, what do you want to do with your life? You know, when you get past high school, when you get past college, university, whatever your formal education process is, what do you want to do when you grow up? It's that question that adults seem to ask all the time. And oftentimes I get the same sorts of answers back. I want to be rich, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a footballer if you're a guy, I want to be famous if you're a girl. And it got me thinking, why is it that so many people keep setting the same types of goals? Why does that happen? Especially in light of the fact that all human beings are different. We've all got different strengths, all got different character traits, all got different personalities. It's kind of like the boats out here in the harbour. I don't know if you can see them, but there's different kinds of boats. And it's as if we're trained or conditioned somewhere along the line to want the super yacht, to want to have the biggest, the most expensive boat in the whole harbour. I'm like, why is that? Why is it that some people can't just be content with the little dinghy or the medium-sized sailboat? Why do we always have to have the biggest, the most expensive, the best? What is that all about? I got to a point, I remember I started reading about goal setting and setting my own goals when I was just 15 years of age. And I remembered at the same sort of time watching a movie called Dead Poets Society. And it really helped me to gain the courage to be different, to stand out from the crowd. Instead of following the same path as everybody else, to think independently, to think for myself, to really consider, what do I like? What am I good at? What are my strengths? Where do I want to go? Instead of where does the crowd want to go and why should I tag along? If you look out here, I don't know if you can see the boats. Most people, I guess, will be conditioned to want the most expensive one. I guess there's one back there that's about, I don't know, it must be at least £1 million, maybe even £2 million in cost. That's how much it will cost you to buy it. And everybody seems to want that. Or if it was a car, they'd want the Ferrari sports car, the Lamborghini, the Aston Martin. If it were a house, they'd want to have the 5-bedroom detached house with the swimming pool. You get what I'm saying? When it comes to education, they want A's and A-star grades. I'm thinking, why is it? And I got to the point where I actually didn't want the big super yacht. You can't see it because it's down below my balcony here, but there's a little rubber dinghy. And if you can imagine the boats as being different types of people with different types of strengths and personalities, you see the little dinghy can get to places that the big yacht can't get. Just down the coast here there's some caves, and if you had the big yacht you'd not be able to get in those caves, but the little dinghy lets you go and explore little places that you wouldn't be able to on a bigger boat. And there's other people that don't like the motorboats. They'd rather have one of these sailboats with the big mast so they can travel along in tranquility and use the power of the wave instead of the noisy engine. I don't know if you were a boat, which kind of boat you'd be, but there's no doubt that they all have their different strengths. I got to a point where I started to feel guilty because I didn't want the big boat anymore that society says that you're supposed to aspire to want to have. The biggest, the best, the most expensive one. I got to the point, there's one down here, it's got a black canopy on it, and you could probably fit a family of 4 on it. I thought, that's the kind I'd like. You might just be able to lay down on the front of it and sunbathe. You could definitely throw a rubber ring or a ski over the back and water ski and pull friends along and have lots of fun. I thought, that's my kind of boat. I started to feel guilty. I was like, what's wrong with me? I don't want a Ferrari sports car. I'm quite happy with the Mini Cooper S. I don't want the 5-bedroom detached house with a swimming pool. What I really want is the kind of house that I grew up in. And I thought, is that right? Can I really set goals? You're supposed to always strive to be the biggest, the best, but there's other types of goals that I like. What I want to do through this video is I want to encourage you to pursue your genuine heart's desires. Not follow along with the crowd, not get caught up in what the media says you're supposed to want or what celebrities say you're supposed to go after, but what you genuinely want, and that's based on a couple of things. I think goals should first of all be based on your personal strengths. I remember having a conversation with a guy in Nottingham in England, actually a little town near there, a place called Mansfield, and this guy said, I want to be a professional footballer. I said, good for you. I said, do you play for the school team? He said, no. I said, oh. Do you play for your village team, your community team? He said, no. I thought, this is a bit odd. I thought maybe I'm underestimating. Maybe he's already with a pro club already. So I said, do you play for a pro team already? He said, no. I said, look, do you play for any team? He said, no. I said, hang on a minute. Let me get this right. You're 15 years of age. You don't play for your school team, village team, or a pro team, but you want to be a professional footballer. He said, yeah. I thought, is this guy setting goals that are based around his personal strengths? If he can't make it onto the school team or the local village team, what are the chances are that he'd make it into a pro team? Now I'm going to tell you right now, a friend of mine's a guy called Ben Foster. Now you may or may not know Ben Foster, but Ben Foster's a goalkeeper. And he ended up playing for, he's at West Bromwich Albion at the time I shoot this video. He's played for England, he played for Manchester United, and a lot of people don't know that Ben Foster didn't even start playing in goal until he was 15 years of age. So who am I to judge a teenager in Mansfield as to whether he can make it as a pro player or not, even though he hasn't played by the age of 15? What's important is he's setting goals, and that you set goals that are based on your strengths. If you've got the talent, the capacity to do it, why not? You've got to set goals that make use of your strengths. Second thing, you've got to set goals that are based around your values. There's no point buying a little single person sailboat down here if you're a family person, because the boat's not big enough to get your friends and family on. But equally, if you like solitude, if you like peace and calm and quiet, you don't want to go and get one of these roaring speedboats over here that's got the biggest engine. You've got to set goals based around your values, about what you think's most important in life. So there's two things to consider when you're setting your goals. What are my strengths? And what do I think is important? And when you know what your strengths are and when you know what's important, then you can start setting goals, not just in school, but in your private life, to do with your health, to do with your relationships, all areas of life. And here's something that I think is really important to bear in mind. When these boats leave the harbour, whatever vessel you choose in life, the important thing to realise is that when they set off and they, let's say they want to go down the coast to a place called Sagres, these boats spend 90% of the time off track. You see, the moment they get out the safety of the harbour, kind of like when you leave the safety of school or your community or your family home, you start to get pulled around by the tides, the currents, the winds that blows. And even though those things happen, challenges, obstacles come up that pull us around and attempt to pull us off track, distractions that occur, if you stay focused on your end goal, where you want to get to, down the coast to Sagres or wherever, you can adjust the set of your sail, you can tweak the steering wheel, you can change the action and the behaviours that you're taking to eventually get to where you want to be. It's very rare that when somebody sets a goal that they go straight there. You have to bear that in mind. You've got to be patient. You've got to be patient, you've got to trust your talent. And you're going to make mistakes, that's just normal. There are things that are going to come along and distract you and pull you off course. You just got to adjust. You've got to be flexible, you've got to change your approach. Don't change your goal, change your approach to the goal. And eventually, if you keep changing and moving and adjusting, you'll get to where you want to be. So, listen, I'm on holiday here. I couldn't resist getting the camera out and putting this little video together because the harbour gave me a few little ideas. So wherever you are right now, wherever you're watching this, I want to encourage you to first of all set goals, have ambitions in your life. Don't just follow the crowd and do what we've been conditioned to do by the TV, celebrity, or even our friends and family. Set goals based on two criteria. First of all, what are your personal strengths? What are you good at? And secondly, set them based on what you think is important in life, what you value. Whatever goals you set, then understand that it's unlikely that you're going to get them straight away. That there are going to be things that pull you out the way, challenge you, and you just got to change your approach and keep going until you get to where you want to be. One of my goals a little while ago was to rent a penthouse apartment here on the south coast of Portugal and have some great times with my friends and family who are waiting for me on the beach. So I'm going to wrap things up here I'm going to go and have a great time, jump in the surf, and have a great day wherever you are. I wish you all the best too. Use what you learn here, and if you do, I'm sure you'll become truly unstoppable. Bye for now.